Dun, 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 dun.
So the poster says for this film that it is a cigarette and whiskey comedy. Those are the words. I would certainly agree with that, even though you might be thinking, if you haven't heard this film before, when we look at the synopsis, you might be thinking, at least on the outset, this is a pretty twisted sense of humor, if it is actually really funny. Like, it seems like animosity and sadness and a bitter relationship are the core root of that humor. But if you think about it in the right way, it actually is kind of funny. So, also, I'm sure you can agree, even if it's going to take a little while to get to that line of commonality, it sounds very sophisticated and very deep, which is very deserving, I'm sure, for an awards film. So Tammy's Always Dying. This is released on May 1st, 2020. It's a new drama film starring Felicity Huffman, a name that I know for all the wrong reasons. It's not because of her acting. And I wish it were, because I would normally want to remember somebody, or at least know somebody in my head for their successes and not necessarily their life failures. But because the news headlines had to get in the way, I remember her more so for college matters, not so much for her acting. In fact, I think this is actually the first film that I will be watching of her starring. I don't think I've ever seen a Felicity Huffman. Well, I know it's not technically her film, but a film that she's starred in before. So maybe this will change the mental register in my mind. When you hear Felicity Huffman, what comes first to the brain? I'm sure she's quite relieved that I'm giving her a chance to do that. Like, please, remember me for my talents. Okay, and not my misfortunes in life. All right, so this seems very interesting as a movie, and I would say others certainly think so. It's given that it debuted on September 5th of 2019 at the Toronto International Film Festival. In fact, Wikipedia, in the introduction entry on the page, says that it was praised by critics particularly, quote, for Huffman, well, I guess, quote, particularly for Huffman's and Anastasia Phillips' performances, unquote. So I would certainly believe that based on the synopsis of Wikipedia. This sounds really interesting. When Tammy, a self-destructive woman who has a dysfunctional relationship with her daughter, Catherine, played by Anastasia Phillips, is diagnosed with terminal cancer, Catherine invites a television producer to document her process of caring for her mom in an attempt to profit from their misfortune. However, she finds her plans complicated by Tammy's persistent refusal to actually die. Talk about a sad relationship between mom and daughter. Like, you really have to get to a low point where you would use the pain of a cancer fighter. Like, that's really sad. And I obviously know from the synopsis you're in a rocky place of your relationship, but you have to get yourself to a real low level to exploit their suffering for personal profit. Like, that's really horrible. I mean, that's not just elder abuse. Abuse of a cancer fighter. Like, really exploitative behavior and incredibly unjustifiable. But good on mom. She keeps fighting back. She keeps subverting her daughter, right? She's like, I'm not letting you win on this. I guess maybe that's part of the rivalry. Like, why can't you just die? I want to get paid. Like, that's horrible. I know, obviously that sounds really morbid, again, as I was saying, but respect your elders. There's a reason people say that. Parents, sometimes we don't really make the wisest decisions as adults, but sometimes we know what we're doing. It's like, I'm not letting you use me and get an extra paycheck. That's not happening. Even though maybe at some point she will be able to fight it anymore. But I guess, again, this is where the comedy is coming in. And who is the television producer, by the way? Like, what person would agree to this? Like, sure, of course I'll knowingly exploit your mother to make you money. Like, I'm sure probably they're getting a huge paycheck. Well, in fact, actually, I know the exact producers that would do that. Reality television, right? If you think about this in the right light, it makes sense. Like, normally that wouldn't be really funny. Well, reality television behaves like that. I mean, have you seen the way people behave on reality? And I'm like, admit it. You like reality shows just as much as me, even though, again, they are really cruel to people. Like, I love me my Dance Moms, my Little Women LA, even some of those housewife shows. Like, this the things people do to each other on those shows are pretty mean. Like, pretty bad. Think back to that Little Women LA food fight. I remember that one. I forget what it was, but I think they were fighting over food or something. It was bizarre. But the lengths that people will go to, the things they'll drag people through. But this is what you always see all the time on reality television. So maybe it's a reality television producer who's like, hey, I'm going to document your entire mom's life and I'm going to get a huge, cha-ching paycheck from you. Maybe daughter, well, I don't know. Because I remember seeing something like, I mentioned from Dance Moms, I think there was a video on YouTube. I know Dance Moms and this are like not similar, but then maybe that this could fit under a reality show premise. But remember when the moms was saying, like, we didn't make really any money. I think it was Christy. Like, I think she said we made like $6 or $60. Like, it wasn't even that much. But the producers, you know, they make a heck of amount of money. So, and then Abby makes all her huge paychecks. But again, this would be perfect fodder for a reality television show. But you really have to get to a low point in your relationship to exploit someone's pain for money. Like, and then to think about that in family, that's really sad. But it sounds like a very interesting movie, and I'm really fascinated to watch it. So let's take a look at Tammy's Always Dying. We actually have a couple trailers to look at. Well, actually, another trailer and a clip. So we're going to start with the first trailer. We're going to watch this first, and then we'll talk about it more in my condensed years. Let's watch the video together. All right, Tammy's Always Dying. Let's see her fight her daughter's wishes. Here we go. That's some fun music to use.
Ma?
That is really sad. This is definitely a darker
You have a hole in your wall. It's the size of a head.
comedy.
It's the size of my head. Ma! Come down!
You can tell they're really not doing
The oven
well.
at the end of every month?
Yeah, just set it to a cool 375 and bake my skull like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah! Oh!
I'll treat you. With whose money?
I'll pay you back when I get my check.
I'm dying. What?
Best case scenario, you have 6 to 10 months.
I don't like her. Ma, too pretty. I don't want a pretty doctor.
You don't have time to shop around.
I need a drink.
Very good script. Very well written.
Ma? Ma?
Ma! What the? I thought you were... What? Dead? Don't look so excited about it.
Well, she's going to see an opportunity.
The flute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, you were awful.
I'm leaving.
What?
You don't know what she's like.
This isn't about her. This is about the woman you become when this is all over.
What about the woman I am now? What about her? You can either be the hero or the victim of this narrative.
This is sort of like...
Taking care of me is the only thing you've ever been good at.
Why won't you just
Die.
So this is sort of a mom, or not mom, but daughter starts to get better in tune with her mom and start to better understand, you know, who her mom is, and in essence, that's how the relationship, I guess, rebuilds. I didn't see much of the television aspect coming in. I was kind of surprised by that. Like, you'd think that would be such a provoking thing, and that would really bring the comedy part in. They don't really highlight it here, though, strangely. But this is more of a sentimental trailer, I would say. I mean, they definitely play up the death side of things in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Empathetic way. And for me, at least, when I watched the trailer, my first impression is that it seems like daughter and mother are getting better attuned to one another, and it's almost like, well, definitely I see it suggested in the end because it sounds like the roles have shifted. So the daughter's taking care of the mom, but she's becoming more acquainted with who her mom's character is. I think it's more so just the relationship rebuilding that they were trying to emphasize here with this trailer. It just looked pretty good. I would certainly see the potential for why it's getting so much awards recognition. I just wish they played the comedy up a little bit more, because again, that synopsis was very promising, and I thought it was actually really funny to go with the television angle. Why not have used that more in the trailer? I don't know, but we have a couple more trailers to look at, so maybe that'll change. But what do you guys think about Tammy's Always Dying? Again, I would like to see that comedy aspect more highlighted, but the more sentimental side with going through cancer and how sad that can be for somebody in that experience, and then just the fact that you have a mom and daughter rebuilding a relationship, at least it's suggested to go that way. Those are very grounded themes I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. So I see the connection they're trying to make. I just wish they played the comedy up a little bit more, because that was promised in the poster, and I thought at least the premise really gave that license to go all the way with the trailer. Maybe they're holding that back for the movie, to be fair. But I would have liked to see the comedy side of it more highlighted. But for now, at least I could say that I agree that it does look like it's deserving for awards recognition. Both of the lead actresses are doing a good performance, I think. But what do you guys think? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below about Tammy's Always Dying from our first trailer. And like I've said, we'll be looking at another trailer and a clip for the film, as well as another videos. So be on the lookout for those. Don't forget all the good stuff. Like and subscribe and hit that bell. Until we get to look at those trailers, or whatever trailer we get to watch next, I'll see you guys at that point. But until then, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Remember, love yourselves and fellow man. God bless. Peace.